Y'all, my elderly neighbor, Miss Slater, died like 6 months ago, and they put this house up for sale. And this man and his wife moved in, and he's about 70 something years old. And I first had a suspicion that he knew Gilman or Randy. And I ignored my suspicions and tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. And right off the bat, he said some very strange things. You know, he's from up north, so they're a little gruffer. But one of the things he said was something about a neighbor that had a bright light and that he shot it out. So he was trying to intimidate me to turn off my light, which was not going to happen because there's been vandalism and there's been break ins around here years ago. Um, and somebody was coming over my fence. So, no, I'm not turning the light out. And so he just came across kind of rude, was cussing in front of me, just had no respect for women or the fact that somebody might not live that way or talk that way. Just no common respect. And, you know, that, and like I said, people from the north are a little bit different, you know, and they're just, they're gruffer. They're not, listen, they're either a hellion or an angel, one of the two, and they don't, you know, there's nothing in between. So, some of them, the ones that I've met, are either, you know, totally just let her rip tater chip, or they are good, godly people. And so I sensed some things about him, and the Lord kind of impressed me that he might be involved in it. And I thought, no, I'm just not going to give in to my suspicions. You know, I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt. But I did not speak to him for 2 or 3 weeks after he moved in because I just sensed something about him. And finally, I had somebody in my yard, and he came up to the corner of the property and introduced himself and said, "If you need anything, let me know." He just came across as really nice, blah, 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 blah. So I started talking to him. But he just seemed to have a little too much time for me, and I just kind of ignored it and tried to just be nice. Well, one of the first things he did was he cut down all these bushes that give privacy between me and this woman and me and his backyard. He cut it all down. And he even took a wreath that belonged to me that was hanging on a tree that was on the limb was on my side of the property, and he took that wreath down that I'd made and threw it away. So right there, I just kind of like, okay, um, just some symptoms of a problem. No respect for other people's property, that kind of thing. Which Gilman had a terrible problem with that. And Randy doesn't respect other people's property either, Randi Davis, because he throws things from the woods over there into my yard or into front of my porch. He's hacked into some of my stuff, and he has no respect for people's property. So this morning, this man has my cell phone number, and his name is Chuck Hunter, Dillard Hunter, and the guy that worked for me in my yard yesterday texted me, called me, asked me to make a picture of what we did yesterday. We got rocks and tried to shore up some stuff with rocks, and so I just told him that I could drive down there. I wasn't going to walk down there because the rain and everything was coming, but I could drive down there. But this guy had his car parked in the driveway where I couldn't get in to make a picture. So after I made that text and that call, he moves the car. Now, is that connected? I don't know, but do I believe it might be? Yeah. So watch, because he didn't have it up here this morning, so he moved it. Goes in, and then I come out the back door to, I'm going to be working on some drainage right there, and I come out the back door to dig this out so it'll stop coming this way. And watch this. So I come to the back door and I open it. I'm going to step out. I thought it had stopped raining, and it's raining, so I step back in the door and go get my raincoat. So I'm looking at it, see if I can get out there. I shut the door, I go back in. It is 13:56. So it takes me about 2 minutes to get my raincoat on. And here I come out at 13:58:57. And I go over to the corner where there's a downspout, and I'm digging out to make a trench so it'll stop draining by my air conditioner unit. So at about 59:10, he's probably walking out the back door, which would be 30 seconds after I walk out the door, the back door. Now this is all speculation, but this is not the first time this has happened. It's starting to happen with him. He's no longer able to keep up his facade of being a nice guy. Yesterday he was out there cussing about Trump in front of me and my worker, trying to provoke some kind of fight. Evidently he knows I'm a Trump supporter, or was. I mean, Trump had his issues, but I'm gonna tell you something. This man's having to sell his big old honking truck because of Biden and the gas prices right now that have absolutely nothing to do with Trump. Trump had the gas down the lowest it's been since probably the 80s or 90s. The 90s, probably. And so I come to the corner. When I lift my head up, I see him. He's at the, because I'm looking for my shovel and everything, he's at the doggone thing at his garage, unlocking the door. So to me, that would mean that he has cut down all these bushes and he's got a camera back there on my door. There he is, looking at me, watching me, see what I'm doing. And I'm steadily telling him, you're a creepy weirdo, aren't you? You pretended to be a nice guy, but the real you is coming out. You got access to a camera? Did you buy access, or did Gilman just give it to you? I'm saying all kind of stuff. See if I can provoke him. See if he'll say something. He's a weirdo, man. But what I'm doing is diverting all this water that's coming down here. I've got to divert it. So I've got to put in more drainage. I've got to put a drain grate right there that will go into the downspout. So, but this is, he's being a creepy weirdo. He's right on top of me when I walk out the door, just like Randi, just like Gilman. Just creepy men. They're so retarded. All of them have brain damage. Every single man in Calhoun County. I think there's something wrong with the water, literally, truly, truly, truly. Because every single man in this county acts like this, just about. I've never been around men that act so retarded and brain damaged. But somehow he's surveilling me. I mean, it's speculation at this point, but I'm going to keep on adding up doggone coincidences, because I don't doubt one bit. I had a feeling when he moved in that he knew Randi and Gilman somehow. He was a trucker, and men gossip worse than women do. So I don't know what chance in hell he thinks he's got with me, but he don't. I would die before I'd go out with somebody like him. I mean, you'd have to kill me. Him, Randi, Gilman, you would have to kill me. You'd have to rape me, because I don't want nothing to do with people like you. Because the truth is, you probably are a rapist. If you were a trucker and you act this weird, you probably did all kinds of stuff on the road that is ridiculous. Because I mean, you curse in front of me, just like there's nothing to it, no conscience whatsoever, just throwing out curse words like you got garbage coming out of your mouth. Just rolls right off your tongue. You don't even have a conscience. And you're one of the most scary people there are. Because you don't have a conscience. You're scary. And look, if you're stalking me and you see this video, I wonder if your wife knows that you've got a camera on my back door and you're running out the door every time I come outside. You've already done it in the front yard. So you're proving exactly what you are and who you are. And you're probably buddies with Randi and Gilman. You probably knew them somehow, one of them.